You're listening to the Magnetic Boss Podcast, a place for spiritual entrepreneurs and visionary women. I'm Calandra, intuitive brand designer and founder of the Magnetic Boss Studio, where we cultivate magnetic brands, websites, and a social media presence for our clients. On this podcast, you'll learn how to begin cultivating your magnetic brand so you can attract dream clients with ease. Each month, we'll bring you real, raw conversations and industry guest experts to help you create your most magnetic self. Thank you for listening today. Now let's get this party started. It is time for a journal entry episode. These episodes are real and raw, and I'm sharing with you the behind the scenes of my life and my business and how those two work together in seasons of change. And on today's episode, I have really exciting news to share with you. And this news is impacting every area of my life and my business, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. I am a little nervous sharing this with you today because in the past I have made a similar announcement and the universe had something else in store. But today I am so grateful to be sharing with you that we are expecting baby number 2. And if you have been following along, listening to the podcast, you probably heard last year around July, I had shared the same news with you. And unfortunately, very shortly after I made the public announcement that we were expecting, I unfortunately had a miscarriage, which was my first experience with that and really flipped our entire world upside down. But this time we decided to wait a little bit longer and things are going really well. So at the time that I'm recording this episode for you, I am 10 weeks. And at the time that you're listening to this, I believe I will be 12 weeks, which is really the timeline that we were hoping to get to before we started sharing publicly that we are expecting baby number 2. So this has been something that our family has wanted for quite some time. And it's really interesting how things play out and the universe works, because we knew that we wanted to have another child, but thought that we would probably wait a couple more years before trying to make that happen. And we had been planning to move across the country to Mississippi, of all places. And our plans changed with that. First, because we had the previous pregnancy pop up and we thought that we were going to change our plans for that reason. And then we lost that baby and changed our plans once again. And just kept flip-flopping back and forth of where are we going to be? Where are we settling down? What is the plan? And there was really no way to plan. And so I think the biggest lesson that I learned in 2021 was that I really have to be flexible and graceful with whatever happens in our experience. And this goes for everything. It goes for personal life transitions. It goes for business transitions. And really just keeping an open mind and allowing myself, this has been the biggest lesson, allowing myself to step back from needing to be in control of everything. And so there were a lot of lessons learned in 2021. Ultimately, we decided that we would stay here in Maine, where we live now, to raise our family long term. And we knew that we wanted to have another baby at some point. And so that first pregnancy, this past pregnancy, was unplanned and a bit of a surprise to us. And then we had the miscarriage, which was extremely saddening, but also really eye-opening to how much support we are surrounded with. And I'm so grateful for that. But of course, that experience kicked my baby fever into overdrive, and I knew that we really wanted to work on growing our family sooner rather than later. And this is something that my now 4-year-old son has been asking for for a really long time. So we're really excited to share the news with him. He still doesn't know yet. We are going to be telling him on Valentine's Day just to make it a super special surprise. And so this time around has been a bit of a different experience where I personally have been a little more reserved. I have been taking a step back from social media. I've taken a step back from the overall workload that I have on a day-to-day basis in the business. I have been asking for more help from friends and family so that I can take more time to rest. And with this pregnancy, I have been, quite honestly, just downright exhausted for these first 10 to 12 weeks. There have been some days where I feel really good, but most days I feel like a walking zombie. So that has been a balancing act between life and business and making sure that I'm meeting my own needs before anything else and taking extra good care of myself. And it has also looked like a lot of planning and team collaboration and thinking about the future. This baby is expected in September, which means that I am planning to take the remainder of 2022 off in my business for the most part. There will be some things that I'll still be doing, but the Magnetic Boss Studio team is really going to be supporting our clients and maintaining our packages that we have for clients. And so between now and then, there's a lot that has to be put into place as far as systems and structures, and also just making sure that we are filling our spots for the brand incubator before September rolls around so that I can have my hands in the pot in the creation process for those projects. So there's definitely a lot of planning happening. There is a lot of visioning happening behind the scenes in my business, and it's felt really good to be able to sink into that plan and know that it's not just me running the show. And it's so incredible to have such an amazing team. We have 2 junior designers. We have a virtual assistant and social media manager. We have Jen, the amazing OBM. You can learn about all of the team members on the website if you go to the About page. You can read their bios. They're freaking incredible, honestly. And I just feel really grateful to be in a position where I feel confident that I can step away for a few months and allow them to shine in their brilliance and what it is that they're really, really good at. So that's something that I really wanted to highlight here on the podcast with you, because I think whether you are stepping away for maternity leave or you're planning a vacation or you're really just wanting to restructure your business in a way where you are working less but achieving just as much, if not more, in your business, it's really helpful to take a step back and understand the structure of your business and the way that client management works and the way that your payments are being processed and all of those things you have to take into consideration beforehand so that it's a much easier process. At least I'm hoping so, when the time comes for you to step away. So if that's something that you're experiencing for whatever reason, I would love to have this conversation with you in an open dialogue in the Magnetic Boss Collective, because I will be sharing more about this, just more openly on social media over the next couple of months. And the collective is going to be the space where I share more just jumping on real raw live videos, Q&As and that sort of thing. So if you're not already in there, the Facebook community, the link will be in the show notes for this episode, and I highly recommend you jump in there for all things branding, design, social media, and collaborating and connecting with other entrepreneurs. So those are the biggest changes that are happening. We're having a baby. I'm planning on taking quite a bit of time off at the end of this year, and we're putting in the work now to be able to do that, to make that a possibility and to feel really good in that process, which is a learning curve for me personally, because again, going back to the idea of releasing control and allowing things to evolve as they need to and as they should, has been a lesson that I continue to learn over and over again in my life and in my business. And I think the biggest thing that helps me in learning and relearning this is that it's always a work in progress. And with everything in your life and in your business, if there is an area of growth, that just means that you get to do better the next time around, right? You get to learn the lesson in a different way. You get to implement that in a different way. And there are no wrong answers. There is no wrong way to do it. It's really just a matter of taking the lessons as they come and feeling really grounded in what you are doing in the present moment. I think being present has been something that really helps me anchor into the bigger vision, because there are so many things on the to-do list. There is so much to accomplish and do, but at the same time, I don't want to skip over any of these parts. Even if some of those parts mean that I cannot breathe. I'm finding that in the beginning of this pregnancy, I'm having a ton of shortness of breath, which I did not experience with my first pregnancy with Connor. So recording podcast episodes and talking on Instagram stories and doing live videos have been a bit of a challenge, but that doesn't mean that you can't take action on the things that are important to you. So I take it all with grace. I allow myself to be in this season of things are a little bit messy and things are not happening maybe as fast as I normally would like them to. I'm not moving at as fast of a pace as I normally would. And you know what? Everybody is still alive. Things are still happening. The business is still growing. And it's really a good lesson that I wanted to share with you that I've been experiencing in life and in business. So that is the big life update. There are some other updates happening just in my personal life that I'll share with you more in the next couple of months as things start to evolve and as we come out of the winter season, which quite honestly I just cannot wait for because I'm so sick of wearing a ton of layers and I really want to just be outside in nature and be comfortable. So I'll be sharing more of that with you on the podcast. I plan on doing these kind of journal entry type episodes with you every once in a while. I don't want to set an exact frequency because there may be things that pop up that I feel are really important to share with you. And other times there may be a lot of value type content, teaching and educational content that I want to share with you. So just stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed if you're loving the journal entry. And if you don't love the journal entries, that's totally fine too. Tune into whatever episodes are the most valuable for you. This podcast is designed to be a podcast where you can come and learn, but you can also feel like you are connected with like-minded business owners like yourself, because quite honestly, we all know that entrepreneurship can feel really lonely sometimes, and it's really helpful to have that community aspect, even if it's just me talking in your ear. So I'm grateful that you are here. Again, make sure you join the Magnetic Boss Collective so that we can have open conversations in there. I'll put the link in the show notes, and until next time, I'm sending you so much love. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe wherever you are listening so you don't miss a thing. Your iTunes reviews help the show impact more magnetic bosses just like you. If you leave a review or listen to this episode, share the episode on Instagram and tag @calandra.martin on Instagram so I can thank you personally. If you're craving community and connection with like-minded entrepreneurs, join us inside the Magnetic Boss Collective on Facebook, where you can build relationships and share your business too. Until next time, Magnetic Boss.